Hi, Mike Jacobson here.
And I'm Harland Merriam.
Together, we're Attune Investments, and we are putting together a series of videos about FIRE, financial independence, retire early.
Yep, and this is our second video this week, Mike. Last week we looked at what FIRE is, financial independence so you can retire early, FIRE, and the difference between your active income and your passive income, a key piece to know as we work this FIRE system.
That's right. And today, let's start just a little bit of a story to illustrate the 3 points today. Back before I knew my wife, she was working at a hospital as a nurse up in Syracuse, New York, and got off of a 12-hour shift one January morning and walked outside, and her parking lot was covered in snow. The car was under snow, and she was not happy. So she headed over to the freeway, headed south on I-75, didn't stop till she got to Florida. And I can't blame her. I'm glad she did.
Yes,
So,
y'all wouldn't have met unless she had.
that's
And she did the three things we're going to look at today. She realized where she wanted to get to, which is out of the snow, where she was, which was buried in snow, and she took that step to start heading south so she could get to Florida. We'll look at those
that's right.
steps today. So let's come back and look. What's that first step?
The
For
first step, knowing where you want to go, have a destination in mind. And for us, we want the passive income to be greater than expenses.
Yeah, so passive income, greater expenses. Eventually down there, may have to drive for a while to get there, but that. So that's your Florida. What does it take to get your passive income greater than expenses, Mike? Let's say you have $100,000 in expenses.
Then, if you're doing it with a stock portfolio, one of the traditional ways to calculate that is multiply the expenses that you anticipate, the 100,000 by 25. Just simple math, 100,000 times 25, and you get 2.5 million.
Okay, so that's the destination. That's your Florida for the average person that has 100,000 in expenses is to get 2.5 million. One way to do it is in the stock and mutual funds would do that. So
Right.
you have it, and you can retire when you get there. What's the next step, though, right now we need to do versus know where we want to get to?
The next step is knowing where you are now. You know, so what are you currently spending? What are your monthly expenses, your annual expenses? Uh, what are the, yeah, some of the expenses are fixed, like your house payment, insurance, utilities. Other expenses are discretionary, like might be buying coffee, going out to dinner. Vacations, yeah, your wife might say that's not discretionary, that's the mandatory, but you have a choice in what you're going to be spending. So you have to add all that up, though, because those are your expenses that you're anticipating. And then also look at your income, both the passive income that you may have already started and also the active income. And then we want to invest the difference between our income and our expenses.
Yeah, so we want to take a look and get to the place where there's more income than expenses and invest the difference starting now so that we can retire early because we have enough in our nest egg that it's producing everything we need for our expenses. Gotcha.
That's right. And we'll learn that, different investments can get us there faster. Such savings account and CDs are kind of slow. Stocks and mutual funds are a faster way. And then there's real estate, and that has, another dimension to it, which we'll get into in another video.
There you go. Yeah. And the third step. So where are you want to get to? Where are you now? The third step that we're going to cover today is start moving in that direction now with whatever you have. My grandmother, when I was about 7 years old, gave me $1. She brought it in 10 dimes, $1 and 10 dimes, laid them out on the table in front of me, pulled one dime across and says, "That's going in church tomorrow." Okay. She pulled another one across and says, "That's going in your savings account down at Barnett Bank tomorrow. You're going to start saving now 10% of what you have." you'll thank me later. And I thank my grandmother for getting me started at 7 years old, because the earlier you start, the more you're going to be able to retire early. Absolutely.
That's right. The earliest dollars do work the hardest for you.
There you go. Well, this has been a good day today. What did we cover today?
First of all, we started with a review from last week, what FIRE is, financial independence, retire early, where we want our passive income greater than expenses, and talked about the difference between active and passive income. And this week we talked about where do you want to be financially to enjoy FIRE. We want our passive income to be greater than expenses, and then assess where you are today. We want income, look at our income, look at our expenses, and look at the assets we have to start with. And then the third thing is start setting the money aside today for investing and develop the discipline.
Yeah. So those are the three things you need to do in order to achieve financial independence starting today. Next week, we'll come back in this series and look at the power of compounding. That's what makes it possible beyond your imagination. The power of compounding next week. Mike, good to be with you today.
You too, Harlan.
See y'all. Bye-bye.
Right. See ya. Goodbye.